What's up, Guitar Players Club? What's good, man? It's been about a week. So, today I'm actually going to talk about Love TKO, Teddy Pendergrass. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're talking about. It's not a whole lot going on with the song, to be quite honest with you. So, real quick, maybe it'll be like a 15-minute video, and hopefully it's helpful. So I still want to focus on triads. You will see me play like full chords and everything, but I will explain things in like a triad format. And the charts, I may have like a full chord showing, but it doesn't mean that you can't apply the thought of triads to it, okay? So I may or may not name the video. I mean, y'all gonna see this after the fact, but I may or may not name the video. I'm having triads or anything. I may just say Love TKO by Teddy Pendergrass. But so anyhow, let's get into this right here. So yeah, the song is in like A flat minor. A flat minor, that's where it is, and it's not really using like a lot of chords, to be honest with you. So let me make sure that my software is up, which I've already done. I'm just double checking real quick. But so here are the notes. Here are the notes. Real like simple. I ain't, you can see the tabs and everything. So yeah. So as far as here, you pretty much have the notes. This is like a C sharp, add 9 chord. It's specifically, I wouldn't recommend you playing a minor 7th over that, because songs that uses that add 9 type feel, a lot of times you can really hear it. So that difference between this D sharp right here, you hear that? So it really is, that D sharp is real important, as well as the here, the G sharp 11, G sharp A flat 11 chord. Very important. Okay, it's very important. Now you don't have to play the G sharp in this, but you can play what's on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string. Okay, so there's the first chord, which you can really just focus on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string again. Okay, and then here you got that right there. So I'm gonna show you how it looks right here. So right here, the way that it looks is see that? That right there. So now over that, you hear the you hear that over it. So it sounds like there's more going on. So over this you hear the you hear that bass line moving on top of that chord. So it just sounds like there's more happening. Okay, but that's what it is. All right, so let's move to the next part, and let me play that in context actually. Dum dum bo dum. Bo dum dum dum. Bo dum boom 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 dum. So that's just in context of how that sounds. All right. So I just want to make sure that you all saw that. And you know what? I don't think you did. So I don't think you saw that. I actually don't think you saw that. So let me go back. I didn't switch the screen. Here we go. And you could also see the B major played right before the reset. Okay. And I also had this melody right here, the do 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 do, you know, that part. So that's just like another way to reset it if you wanted to add that in there. It's not 100% necessary, but you know, you can use that. All right. And we're gonna go over like the next part because that was pretty much um the chorus. That's the chorus part. Think I gotta let it go. Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. Now the actual the verse is a few chords, and it's not that bad. You know, it's not like a bad riff or anything or a chord progression. It's actually a 4-1-5 chord progression. All right, 4-1-5. Here's how it looks. All right, so that's how it looks. Here is how it looks on the notation staff. And this is just one way to play it. Okay, let's run that back. Let me go back to that measure. Now, obviously, with like in R&B music, you're gonna hear all sorts of colors that you can actually add to, you know, like add to the song, and you know, there are all different types of ways that you can color it up. But in the chart, I have now you don't hear the hammer on the, you know, but you see. But when I play over it, when I play the track and play over it, you're gonna hear me doing some other things. That's just because that's just the way I play. But yeah, just keep that in mind too. So those are the notes. Those are the notes. You know, here's the B major. Here is the A flat minor. So that's, you know, thought of as the relative minor of B major, but it's just A minor. Just think of it as A minor. The only reason I bring those other references up is because it is helpful. You know, sometimes when we are showing how to play a certain scale, a lot of times we resort to memorization. And while that is okay, you also have to keep in mind that you might already know it. This is the only reason, like, no shade to people who comment about all these technicalities. I appreciate it. But the reason why I come off the way that I do and I explain the things that I do, I can use a lot of technical jargon. But this is for individuals who are learning it, and they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear, you know, well, the minor third and this major, you know what I'm saying? You might hear me say that sometimes for the sake of that lesson. But, you know, if I'm just trying to teach it to you straight. All right. The reason why I named this community the Guitar Players Club is because oftentimes retention comes from uh, like relatability, okay? And just being able to use regular terminology, regular language, common language. You know, even if you're picking up the guitar for the first time, I can actually like explain it to you. I might just say, you know, here are frets. Put your finger in the third fret on this string. I may just say that, and someone who's sitting on the guitar for the first time, they know what that is. Now, if I say play this a major third from that, who cares about that? I know what it is, but just understand that. So if I don't entertain you in the comments, please don't be offended, because a lot of times my delivery is for people who are wanting to get it and get it right now, you know, in terms of like music and understanding the music and the song and all that other stuff. They just want to get that and be done with it. Now, all the lengthy conversations, you already know we get into that. You know what I'm saying? When I go live, I haven't gone live in a minute, but I'll start that back up. I'm working on wrapping some things up, and I think the lives were just kind of getting in the way a little bit. All right. So here's what I'm about to do now. I'm just gonna do a little minor, like a small playthrough, just so that you can hear the different things that you can actually do with the chord progression, going from the chorus to the verse, or the verse to the chorus, whichever order. I don't really care. So I did a little, you know, what's this, 8 bars or whatever you want to call it, in or 16 bars in Logic. And I actually don't even need to show you this, to be honest with you. I could just come here and I can just play it. Turn it up. So this is the verse. So yeah, this is the part where he's, you know, that's an octave up. So that's like some other ways to play it, okay? play it. Well, that's one way that you could play it. All right. So now, as like a recap, I showed those are the chords that I showed, right? Now the actual chord is a E major. Okay, you could play that this way, which is like the C major shape in the cage system. This is the A major shape in the cage system, but it's like referencing the E right here. You pivoting on that E, or you can pivot on the E on your pinky, play the C major shape, A major shape, referencing caged. And here's the B major. You can play that here. That's the way that I was actually switching shapes, or so you can do them either way. Okay, you can do those either way. All right. Another thing that I wanted to mention is on the chorus. So think I let it go. Now this is playing. It's like a G, like a F sharp major shape, but remember that's actually a G sharp 11. Okay, it's not a F sharp. It's a G sharp 11, just for reference. Okay, so it sounds like think I gotta let it go. So it's not this. That boo doo. No, it's not that. It's da. All right, it's little things like that. Sometimes we can overlook. The octave of that sounds like this, or inversion. You play it there, up here. So you got the C sharp right here. You can also up here. Or if you you can do it that way. So now that's that part. Some other coloring things. All right, let's go back to that E major, which, you know, I was just playing this triad on the third, fourth, and fifth, the second, third, and fourth string. Well, right here where my index finger is, you can just, if you lift it, it's really playing the B major. You can just hammer on into it. You know what I'm saying? Or you can slide into this and here. Now there was one little riff that was being played inside of that the keys was playing actually, and you know, some people might be like, dog, like what is that? Well, if you're playing excuse me, if you're playing the 5 triad, which is an F sharp. I was just being clear on what the full chord was, but it's an F sharp major. Anytime you're playing a major chord, you can also, let's say you're playing this shape. I've already shown you. Well, where your middle finger is, go down the half step and play that chord. So that's like another way to play it. So let me play the track one more time so you can see what I mean, and you'll see kind of how I'm referencing it a little bit. All right. Yeah. So like on this part, and fact, let me loop that. So the keys were actually doing something real interesting. I'm gonna just loop that for a bit. So they were going like this. They were doing something like that. So that's like another little like flavor that you can actually add to, you know, really almost any major chord. Now it looks different depending on where you're playing it, but most major chords, especially on the 4 and 5, you can play that and it would actually fit. And sometimes depending on what the vocals are doing, you know, maybe it's not appropriate. But you know, it's like that you could say it's like a add to type thing. I don't think that's a sus2. I don't think it is. But anyway, it is adding the 2 in there instead of that third. You're kind of taking the third out and making it a 2. So that's actually, but you can also use it as a sus2 to come back on that third. Okay, the way it looks up here. Here's the 4. Do it there too. So it just depends on where you're playing it from. So I hope that was helpful, and you know, hey, I'm just here to show it to you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a pretty dope song. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you get the actual groove of it, you know, especially that bass line that you can actually play the guitar over it, where you're like shadowing the bass line. I think that's pretty cool. So I hope that was useful, and feel free to like this if you so desire, rather. And I'll see what I'm going to post next. This was a request, actually, and typically what I do is I see how easy is it going to be to teach. You know, some stuff is just a little more in depth. All right, but that's kind of, you know, how I weigh it. And then other stuff, I work on it in the meantime, and then I go ahead and I show it, you know. So that's pretty much how I do it. So hope you all enjoyed. I hope that this was helpful, and you know, I'll get into some more complicated stuff. And also know, you know, I don't release everything on YouTube. There's other stuff being released in my private community. So that is slowly but surely like being built in the process, and I'm actually nearing the end of that. So just keep that in mind. It's coming soon. All right. Just want to make sure y'all know that. Subscribe if you feel like it. All right.